not here. Why can't I access? There we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pokemon Tabletop Adventures. For the last 2 weeks, I haven't been able to do a stream, but I promised there would be one today. Fortunately, I seem to have come down with a cough, but I will still have the stream going as long as I can. Hey Barnabas, I'm pretty sure I can go for at least 2 hours. I said it would be an extended stream. But we'll see how everyone is feeling at the 2 hour mark, and we'll see about proceeding or not. How are you today, Barnabas? Yeah, excuse me. I get some music going in a couple minutes while we wait for if anybody else does show up. Oh, happy belated birthday, Barnabas. Did you get everything you asked for? Did you get any good gifts? Have some good cake? You're welcome. You're welcome. What kind of cake was it? All right, we're gonna roll to see what the weather would be like today before anything else. A 3. So a 3 means it is raining. Wherever you'll be in today's session, it will be raining. You had a pull-apart cake made from cupcakes, but the frosting was so good. Yesterday, I celebrated my niece's 4th birthday. Even though her birthday was on the 4th, they had a birthday party yesterday. Yep, that does make fire weaker. So in the rain, rain dance effects will be happening. So fire's the damage that fire type moves do will be cut in half. The accuracy for thunder is 100%, and Pokemon that have like Swift Swim, Rain Dish, they'll get their benefits from that. Thank you, Barnabas. Yep. So you're going to be the only one here for right now. You wake up to the sounds. You're in the farm, and you wake up to the sounds of a steady rainfall on the farm roof. The professor greets you with a hot cup of coffee or hot chocolate, whatever your desired morning beverage is. Since it is raining, there are not going to be any bird Pokemon in the farm, but there is still the food silo that needs to be checked. The professor has a TV on, and it's a live news report. Several news broadcasters are trying to get into the city of Daytona, but the police who are there have blocked off all the roads, all access. No one can get in or out. When they're asked about it, they're saying it's a public safety issue. All right, in the silo, we got. There are two Pokemon who are in the silo, and they're just there to get out of the rain. And those Pokemon are. I forgot how to spell his name. Is it Relic? Oh, there it is. One of them is a Reller with a ball of milk tank dung. A roll for its nature. 10. It's modest. And the other Pokemon is. Excuse me. A Lillipup. Oops, that's the wrong screen. Lillipup's a quiet nature. Lillipup is shaking off his fur, trying to stay dry, while the Reller's just kind of rolling its ball of dung back and forth, waiting for the rain to stop because it doesn't want its ball of dung to get too soft and squishy. All right, you eventually make your way to Daytona. There's not much activity going on. When you go through Ocala, people are using their umbrellas and such to keep dry. You eventually get to the city of Daytona, where there's roadblocks along the beach, roadblocks along the boardwalk in the city itself. Police crossings everywhere. They're not letting anybody through. The police officer looks at you with a blank stare, but sees that you are part of the PPC. He says, "Hello there, member of the PPC. Your assistance is not needed. We got everything under control." The city is currently closed. We'll reopen as soon as we can. Police officer reaches into his back pocket and he says, I might need some backup. Two other officers show up and they approach you in the same way. Leave now or we'll be forced to detain you. There are no buildings you could climb or sewers that you could sneak through. Like I said, from the beach to the boardwalk is closed off. You certainly can. Mint sparkles as he's released from the ball because it is a shiny and flies over the city. A couple minutes go by and then you hear Mint crying out and is flying back towards you. There is a Magnemite chasing it, trying to shoot thunderbolts at it. $20. Nope, not a shiny Magnemite. It was halfway to being a shiny, but did not get it. Mint flies back to you as the Magnemite descends to get close enough to where you see it. Mint points with one wing towards the Magnemite, signifying that the city has a lot of floating Magnemite and other Pokemon guarding the rooftops and the sky level of the city. The Magnemite turns around and slowly floats back towards the city. Your phone ends up ringing, and it's Professor Redwood. He says you need to come back to the farm because he has something that you probably need to see. When you get to the farm, you notice that there's a figure standing there with the white Charizard. You recognize him as Ace. He's there standing to the professor, and they both have a worried look on their faces. The professor asks, "Have you been to Daytona?" The professor explains that Ace tried to find out what was going on as well, and he was met with the same uh, cold hostility. He tried to go further, but his Charizard can't fly anymore. And he was met with the same resistance that you were met with. So he thinks something is going on. And then there's another breaking news report on the television screen. One of the chief officer in Daytona is making a press conference from there to the reporters at the blockade, saying, "Oh, we have successfully apprehended the rampaging Pokemon Ogerpon. That's why the city was closed. We have Ogerpon now in custody. Team Mind has it in their laboratory, and they will reopen the city tomorrow." Professor Redwood scratches his head and asks himself, why were they worried about Ogerpon? Wasn't Ogerpon fighting the giant Malamar that was attacking the city a few days ago? Team Mind is definitely up to something, Barnabas said. Ace says, I agree with you 100%. To be honest, I never cared for Team Mind. I think they do things in the name of science, but some of the things they do are probably unethical, and I don't think it's a good idea for them to have Ogerpon. Ace explains in the story that the creature that his Charizard fought years ago that stole its fire powers, Ace wanted to destroy it, but Adam from Team Mind begged him not to, and then Team Mind took the creature away, never to be seen again. Ace says he still has a feeling that that creature still resides somewhere in their laboratory. Barnabas says if there's a team that's seeking to create a portal between worlds, couldn't they create a supersized Malamar? I don't know. That seems weird. What's the name of the professor with that makes the gadgets? Is Professor Gears. Yeah, Ace states that messing with other worlds is just a recipe for disaster. He said that we got lucky that somehow the Pokemon were able to, even though they did wipe out the animals of the prior Earth, the planet is still moving on. He probably has. Anybody who knows anything about science or history should probably know who that is. It was the atomic bomb, father of the atomic bomb. Which I did watch the movie last week, actually. It's pretty good. Ace says, so it looks like we cannot get in through the air and we cannot get in on the ground. He does have an idea, but it would be a little dangerous. But he thinks that there's a way that you can slip in through the ocean. It would require a diving suit, and you would have to find your way to the drainage pipes of Team Mind's lab, which connects to the ocean, and then that would be a way for you to infiltrate the lab or the city itself. Yes, H is an honorary member of Team Mind. He did signed up. He did sign up for their scientific program. Nope, H is Team Mind. You were correct the first time, Barnabas. Nobody is part of Team Fang currently, which also brings Hisgard's daughter. I actually forgot her name, to be honest. But the one that you guys recruited for Team Mind, she's been MIA too. Press for Redwood sees she was in Daytona last I heard, and I haven't heard from her in a few days. But her GPS says she's still in the city. Excuse me. Seems like you've done all you can do right now. We at least need more people before we try anything dumb. Ace said he can provide the diving suits for the team. But he would have to stay behind on land and kind of create a distraction to help. If you guys are discovered, he'll be able to do a distraction to minimize the security going on. But in the meantime, if you want to go anywhere else, you're more than welcome to. If you want to do some grinding or training while we wait for more people to show up. I know it's my fault that there's not a lot of people here today due to me not doing it in the last 2 weeks, and then I didn't schedule it until 30 minutes ago. All right, Rainbow Springs. Are you taking the forest path or the river path? All right, you show up in the Rainbow Springs forest. The ground is a little squishy, but it's still manageable from the rain. It's actually kind of calming because the rain is coming down at a steady pace. It's not pouring or anything. And the current path you're on in the forest, you're part of where the deerling was, where it looks like autumn. 15 plus your perception. Or your wisdom 4. Oh, 6. No, that's pretty good. There's a wild Eevee running around playing in the puddles that have collected in the forest. It's an adamant nature, so he's pawing and headbutting the puddles. I know Funtime was looking for an Eevee, but he caught one. He eventually got one. And then I think, what's his name? GW was looking for an Eevee and he got one as well. So I think both people who were looking for Eevee found him. All right, Noodle gets to go first. He has Rat, Leer, Twister, and Thunderwave. I know H informed me that he won't be available from a lot of the summer streams that we do. Yep, Thunderwave paralyzes. All right, you go to Rat. See if the Rat hits. The Rat misses. Rolled a 1. Eevee takes a offensive stance and tackles. It's a hit. Minimal damage to Noodle. Noodle has 12 out of 15 health left. Back to Noodle. Like a burrito this time. Wrap hits. Evie's going to get wrapped for a maximum of 4 turns. Evie can't do anything while he's being wrapped. Can't do any tackle. He doesn't have any moves that he can do. Thunder Wave now from Noodle. Succeeds. Evie is now paralyzed. Freed from the wrap. Will the paralysis take effect? Yes, Evie is paralyzed. Back to you. Evie is breathing heavily now. All right, you have 25 left. Catch rate is 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You rolled it exact 60, but the Eevee is caught. Noodle goes to level 11. What stat do you want to increase on Noodle? Alright, his HP has been fully restored, and it's now max HP is 18. Do you want to give the Eevee a nickname? It is a boy. Alright, so it's for H. Got it. And then that can be changed later. Alright, there's nothing else in the area of the forest. You continue on to where the paths intersect, where the forest and the river intersect. Excuse me. The river is not overflowing. You can switch paths if you want to go to the river path instead. Or you can stay on the forest path. Both are available options. All right. As you go closer to the water along the river path, you see multiple dewpider. They are staring up in the sky with their little forelegs raised up, letting the bubble helmets of theirs catch as much rain as possible, refreshing their air bubbles. No shiny. As you go further down the river path, you see that the river begins to darken. There are deeper parts of the river. Can't really tell if anything is splashing or in the water because the water is constantly rippling from the rain. No worries, Barnabas. The shiny charm does exist in the game. Um, Obviously, it's not going to be a reward for catching every Pokemon in the game. That would just take way too long. But it is a reward for something in the game. Um, and then there will be like certain foods, recipes can increase the odds. Certain items as well will be available. All right, perception check in the deep end. 12 plus the wisdom 16. You see a Lotad floating along, catching rain in its lily pad back or head, whatever you want to call it. This one does have the rain dish ability. No shiny. As you carry on down the river starts to get what's the opposite of wide? Narrow. The river starts to get more narrow, so the water's starting to flow quicker. There is a bridge that goes over it. Perception check for. You don't see any Pokemon, but along the bridge you see a pair of fishing boots that have been left behind. Currently, the boots are too soggy to be worn. After a day's worth of being out of the rain, they will dry up. And then they'll be able to be worn. They let the wearer be able to walk through bodies of water as long as the water doesn't go over your head without being impeded. All right, you have the fishing boots added to your inventory. On the other side of the bridge, the river widens again, and it goes back to slow moving. And there's a lot of tall grass and reeds. There's a whooper jumping in and out of the grass, playing in the rain. Oh, 20. Let's see. Could we get a shiny whooper here? We need a reroll now. This is another 20. Nope. No shiny. Now the river is going along through a bunch of rocks. The rocks are large enough for a person to hop onto. And there's a small island that if you hop on the rocks, you'll get to the island. It's not like a tropical island. It's just a patch of land in the middle of the river. It's got trees and tall grass in it. You don't see anything currently in this area. When you get to the island, you see that it has been used as a camping ground before. There is a circle of stones with some charcoal where somebody did have a campfire, but as I said, the wood was burnt, and now there's charcoal now. Charcoal can be picked up and given to a Pokemon to increase the damage of their fire moves. And there's a few empty bottles and candy wrappers and boxes of eaten food where the campers were. Alright, I will have Ember holding the charcoal. Excuse me. So Ember will deal more damage with her fire attacks. There are no Pokemon around. So do you hop back to the mainland and continue following the river? At this point, you're up on a hill, and you can now see that the river is emptying out to the ocean. And then there's another part of the river before emptying out to the ocean that is like it's a clearing. The water there is covered with algae, so it's like swamp water. All the water that does not make it out to the ocean gets collected there, and it's like a bog. $17 Totodile. You spot a Totodile in the boggy section of the river. 13. It's quiet nature. Just minding his own business with his head above water, chilling. Noodle is faster and gets to go first. Wrap. Succeeds. Totodile is going to be wrapped for a duration of 4 turns. Totodile does no bite, so he can bite Noodle as he's being wrapped, which he does so. Bite succeeds. Noodle takes a little bit of damage and has 15 out of 18 health left. Totodile takes damage from the wrap. Goes to bite Noodle again. Minor damage. Noodle has 12 health left. Another wrap damage. More biting. And Noodle is down to 9 health and released from the wrap. Or releases the wrap. Totodile is snapping in his jaws, wanting wanting another piece of Noodle. Thunderwave. Thunderwave misses. Totodile uses Bite. succeeds. That damage was a lot more than previously. Noodle is at 6 health. Thunderwave again. This time it succeeds. Thunderwave can't really crit, so the 20 doesn't do anything. But Totodile is paralyzed. Rolls for paralysis. Is not paralyzed or doesn't flinch from it. Goes to bite. Minimal damage. Noodle has 5 health left. It is paralyzed, but it did not flinch from paralysis. You're good. It still has the paralyzed status effect. The catch rate is 55. 16. 51. The ball shakes, and the Totodile has been caught. It is a boy. Excuse me. I need to get back into playing Pokemon Scarlet. Alright, the Totodile is level 9. It is a boy with a quiet nature. Do you give him a nickname? Steve Irwin. Good name. Same here, Barnabas. Same here. One day I was just like, I am so bored of this. Alright. 18 health. 9 attack. 8 defense. 8 special attack. 7 special defense. And 7 speed. He has Scratch, Leer, Water Gun, and Bite. You'll switch him out with bananas. Got him. Excuse me. Yeah, I think we're just going to do the regular 2 hours today. Hope everybody else understands. I feel terrible, like, not like sick-wise, but like that I keep having stuff happen that don't let me stream to as much as I want to. So at the end of the river path is the coastline where you see the river empty out into the ocean. Thank you, Barnabas. Thanks for understanding. I think I got it from one of the kids at my niece's party, because she had a bunch of her friends from daycare there. And you know how kid germs can be. Because I didn't have this coffee yesterday. I woke up with it this morning. Speaking of health, I know Noodle is at 5 HP currently. All right. You end up in the forest path. You pass by all the Pokemon that you previously saw, and you end up at the spot where you guys cut down that tree. Perception check. 2. You don't see anything. Then the next portion of the forest is where it is overgrown. A lot of tall grass, a lot of mushrooms, weeds. Ten. Let's see what we got waiting in the weeds. Oh. Scatterbug. Scatterbug is clinging onto one of the blades of tall grass, trying to stay dry. It is a sassy nature. Here is the cold valley of the forest where the ice cave is still there and open. It is pretty cold and foggy now because of the rain, and the ground is slick with ice from the rain that has fallen. So, the you have a chance to slip and fall here, and if you're in combat here, the fog weather effect is in, so accuracy checks are reduced. If you do fall, depending on what you roll and what your strength and is, would depend on how much damage you take, but it won't be fatal. At least if you're at full health, it's not going to be fatal. Ooh. All right, in the ice cave, you see the Hall of Ice, where you guys had freed some of the Pokemon there. I think H had freed a Shelter, and I think GW did a Goldeen. Somebody freed a Goldeen there. Might have been Brotherhood. Oh, okay. You could start to see your breath in the cave. Um, it is cold, but you're not too deep in the cave to where it's starting to damage you. Yeah, you still have the fur coat. I assume you're putting it on. Perception check. 14. There's a snow runt looking at its reflection in the ice. It is a male, hasty nature. Moving forward in the cave, it opens up into a chamber. There is a throne made of ice. And in that ice throne room is a Frostlass and a Glalie. They are not shiny because they are they were statically spawned in that ice cave stream. They did attack Butter because Butter had killed one of the snow runt in there, which made them aggressive. So they were aggressive towards Butter. It's partially how Butter almost died. Excuse me. But right now they're just minding their own business. The Glalie does have his eyes on you. That's the end of the cave. So I assume you just exit the cave. Further down the forest road, it opens up to a clearing. It's kind of like a dirt, rocky road with some tree stumps that have been cut down. $19. You're getting pretty decent perception check rolls today. Come on. Come on, dice. Work with me here. There we go. There's a Zangoose. It's a calm nature. And he is calmly sitting down under a tree, looking up at the sky. He has one of his claws out into the rain, watching the raindrops fall off his claws. If you're not blue, I don't want you. I understand. His shiny is really pretty. I think white and blue look a lot better than white and red. The next part of the forest is muddy, very muddy. Um, your shoes will get stuck in the mud due to the weather. But it's still crossable, depending on how you do it. Ugh, excuse me. Can Glacier freeze the ground so you can cross? He does not currently have any ice type moves. He just has Tackle, Leer, and Dragon Tail. He can, but I don't know if the ground's gonna respond. It's an impossible feat. If anything, it'll make the ground's defense go down, and if you step on it, you'll fall through the earth. All right, let me do a dexterity check on that. 4 plus 2, 6. One of your feet actually goes, as you're walking through, sinks into the mud all the way up to your thigh. But all it does is 1 damage to your health. And you're able to pull yourself up and clean yourself off. So you have 9 out of 10 health. The next part of the forest is the sandy road. The sand is more hardened and compact due to the rain, but it's not muddy, so you can go across it without any problems. And it's also where the road that Team Fangs has their hideout at. You can either stop by and say hello to them, or you could move on in the forest. Perception check. 15. Yep, you're right with those high rolls. There's a couple of puddles of water along the road, the forest road, and you manage to see a barboach in one of them. I think this program rolls 13 more than any other number. It could be just all in my head, but it's 13. No shiny barboach. It's just swaying along, absorbing all the water. The next part of the forest opens up into a wide prairie. There are no other trees in the immediate area. It's like a huge clearing. The forest road does continue forward to where the forest where the trees resume. But currently, you're in a clearing. It's like a patch of no trees in the woods, an opposite of a forest in the middle of the woods. There's another high roll perception check. 16. Playing in the surrounding mud in the open field, you can hear and see a wild Lechonk. Rash nature, and it's a girl. Sorry, buddy. Somebody in the mood for bacon? All right, Saber. I don't even think this pig could hit Saber. He can with disarming voice, but it's only going to do 1 damage because it's not very effective. Chonk uses disarming voice on Hone Edge, on Saber. Saber only takes 1 damage. He goes to 11. Fury Cutter. Critical hit. Maximum damage. That is a 1-hit KO on Lechonk. Lechonk faints. Saber goes to level 6. Saber obeys, and Lechonk is now killed. Alright, physical attack, that is a 10. The Lechonk is killed, and you can harvest some raw pork. Alright, let's see how many helpings you get. You get 6 raw pork. If they are not cooked by the beginning or by the end of the next stream, then they will spoil into spoiled meat. Yes. No matter how many ingredients you have for it, the meal feeds the entire party. So whoever, even if they're not here today, whoever plays in the next stream will benefit from um, if you are there. If you do not show up, then he does not make the meal. Or actually, no, he'll make the meal regardless. All right, then keep moving, act like you didn't just slaughter an innocent pig. I know Honedge Saber likes it a lot. Hope there aren't any vegans watching. Well, it was an imaginary pig, so they can get over it. You make it to the other side of the clearing. And you manage to find a well. It doesn't look like it's been used in some time. And the well is full of fresh water from the rain. Perception check. 8. You look into the well and you see that people have thrown coins in it. There are some shadowy shapes swimming around inside the well, but the water is too deep to make them clearly visible to you. You would have to jump in the well to grab the coins because the coins are at the very bottom. The water is high enough that you can swim back up to the top. All right, let's roll. Oh, a 1. As soon as you jump in the well, one of the shadowy shapes attacks you. Just kidding. Not Carvana. You were attacked by a. My bad. I know. It's Basculin, not Carvana. The the Basculin uses Aqua Jet on you. It's a hit. And you take 6 damage, dropping you to 3 health. I advise you better leave the well immediately. Dexterity check. 12. All right. You managed to get out of the well before the Basculin comes at you again. That was close. Yes, you can use potions on yourself. You currently have 3. You can't mess with the power of wishes. All right. You have 2 potions left and you're back to a full 10 HP. Oh, excuse me. All right, we got a half an hour left. Yeah, that well's gonna give you nightmares. At least there's no Asian girl crawling out of it. The next area of the woods has a lot of wildflowers growing. You can see spider webs along the trees. The rain has them to where they're fully visible. You can see them collecting a bunch of raindrops. And because they're so wet, they are not going to be blocking any. They're not going to be blocking your paths or anything like that. PTWD. The butter was almost put on ice, and you were almost fish food. Perception check. 15. There's 13 again. You can see a arachnid kind of patrolling one side of the trees. It's absorbing the water droplets off the spider webs into its bubbles. Oh yes, I think if I remember correctly, it's like purple and like red, purple orange. I think the green is swapped for purple. The next area of the woods, you find yourself, the ground goes down at a decline, and you see a lot of limestone rocks covered with moss. There's piles of them everywhere. It looks like this used to be a quarry back in the day, or a phosphate pit mine. 14. There you see a wild timber. He's holding up a piece of lumber. Calm nature. Yep, limestone is loose. Yeah, you can. The ground is like the ground itself. It's still solid like dirt and pine needles and stuff. You just see a bunch of limestone piles along on the left and the right sides of the path. All right, moving forward. You find an old shack in the woods. There's a small hole in the roof, but the shack uh, is actually still somewhat sturdy. Definitely, definitely terrifying. 18. A wild mischievous is floating in a around the shack. No shiny. Modest nature. Yep. It's like your eyes are better than your feet. I mean, your wisdom is 6 and your dexterity is only 2. So it's like your stats are like symbolized in your die rolls already. The forest and the path ends along the side of a big limestone wall, and there is a cave opening. So if you do go forward, you would have to go in the cave. Yes, the shack does have a door on it. So the shack is approachable. You go in the shack. You're going in the shack. Okay. The professor gets your message. He says, "Be careful." He says he doesn't think anyone's gone that further into the forest before. As you open the door kind of falls off one of its hinges and hangs off. But you see inside, the shack is completely made of wood. There are some small holes in the floorboards, but nothing large enough for you to fall through. There is a soggy mattress on the ground where somebody was sleeping back, but it doesn't have any like fresh imprints to show that there are any signs that anyone was sleeping there recently. What's it soggy from? I don't know. There is a small hole in the roof though, and rainwater has dripped in, so it's from that. A bedwetter lived there. Oh, that's funny. uh, the kitchen has rotted furniture. There's no food. There's plates and kitchen utensils, but there's no food. One. Perception check inside the shack. One. You don't see anything of use. 'It is dark inside the cave, but Ember's tail is enough to let you be able to see. 11. You can tell that there's a Zubat roosting. On one of the stalactites above you. 7. Impish nature. And on the wall, Oh no, that's the evolved one. I want Woobat. Pressed against the wall with his little suction cup nose is Woobat. Wow, they both got the same number, 7. Impish natures. All right. You get to a part of the cave that descends into a pool of water. It looks like it's flooded. You would have to go in the water to continue. Otherwise, it is a dead end. Head back to the farm. All the way back to the farm. All right, you do eventually make it back to the farm. Do you want to go ahead and end it here? Is there anything else you want to do? All right, he can make 2 meals of your choice with the pork that he got. He can make bacon. Bacon will give all a catching boost to all normal Pokemon, normal type for the party. Or he can make pork chops, which would increase the rate of a shiny, making the roll down by 1. So it would be a 19 or higher instead of a 20. It would double the odds, so to speak. So bacon would increase capture rate, whereas pork chops would increase shiny rate. Professor says the shiny charm is usually given out to a somebody who completes the regional championship by winning all 8 badges and beating the national or the local Elite Four. Yep, you said 2 meals worth of pork chops. So next time, the shiny rate for normal type Pokemon will be increased. I'm going to have to write down all the discovered recipes and put that in the Discord as you guys discover them. I'll have to do that immediately after ending the stream. Is there anything else? Might as well end it here. Thanks for streaming. Rest up. I hope you feel better soon. Thank you for being here, Barnabas. I know I couldn't do this without you. So I had a lot of fun doing this one-on-one. So again, thank you for being here. It was eventful. You discovered some new places, learned some new things, and saw some new Pokemon that have yet to be encountered. As far as I know, I should be able to stream regularly, same time. And if my throat's doing better, if my chest is doing better, then I'll try to do a 3 to 4 hour stream next week. So thanks again, Barnabas. Take care. Again, happy belated birthday. Yep. Good stuff, good stuff. Definitely some good filler for character development for Sir Barnabas. Have a good night, too. Take it easy.